Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 37 of All the Mods 9 to the Sky. Where today, well, we definitely get this full of water. And, well, we start setting up the fissile fuel setup right there. So I'm going to jump into this episode. We'll get started. And I did say in this episode that I was going to finish the Fissile Fuel between episodes, but I think next episode we'll come back and finish that setup for you guys. So until then, let's jump into this episode. All right, guys, let's jump into this. To start this episode, I want to start filling this thing full of fluid. And how I'm going to do it is Integral Dynamics. I haven't played around with this mod recently, and like I wanted to get some of this going here, and I'm thinking this will be the best way of doing this. So the first thing I want is a programmer. I'm not sure that I will need a programmer, but it's it's one of those better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. All right, we got some logic cables here. I do know I'm going to need a couple of these fluid interfaces. And I think variable cards. Do we not have paper? We should have the stuff to make paper. I mean, all right, some variable cards. Okay. Now, how we're going to do this, we're going to come over here. We're going to set this sink here underneath this one. This should work like I said. I want to grab out the configurator. Because I did not do this last time, so output waste, output coolant, input only. Yeah, okay, so that's the one we want. What we want to do is set a fluid interface on that and a fluid interface on that. I think we can just get away with just putting a simple cable here. And on the down, targeted sides up's fine. Ticks per operation 1. Priority 0. Interface that. Don't think that is right. See, is there a basic interface for this? Energy, fitting energy, item interface, filtering item interface, fluid interface, filtering fluid interface, mega interface, that's for a different thing. At dynamics. Do we need a connector? Might need a connector, so let me make some of this stuff here real quick. I will say a network reader, machine reader, inventory reader, fluid reader, reads fluids in tank. Yeah, okay. entity reader, block reader, audio reader. Yeah, I think we just need this. Can connect to other omnidirectional connectors anywhere, including different dimensions. Can connect to other monodirectional connections. Give me a moment to look this up. I'm going to have to research this, trying to remember how to do the fluids connection. I know it's only just something very simple. So give me one moment. Okay. I did not need to look very long. It's a fluid exporter that we need, which we still need these output cards. So we got those. And now we can have this. And we place this exporter here. There we go. We want export all fluid. I think this is the one we want. That's just fluid tank. Okay. I'm hoping this is right. So we want to put a variable card into the export all fluids. And I'm thinking we want to change this to a very outrageously high number. Okay, so that is the highest. It can be 9,999,999. Okay. And as you see there, it literally filled that up in just a split second after we looked away from it. So there we go. So it's export all fluids. You put a variable card in there and go to the fluid transfer rate. Change this to the 999,999,999. Fills it up completely. All right. So that is the first thing there. What do you have? Bumblebee spawn eggs. I don't need any of that. Okay, so that is how we were going to deal with the water. So we can cool it down indefinitely fast. No worries. The next thing we need to do is deal with the making of the fuel. So there is some quests here telling you what you need to get made and the process here. So final stuff that we want is a uranium hexafluoride and creates fissile fuel. So if we go into this, type fissile fuel. Okay, so we start, marking this. This requires us to have a isotopic centrifuge here. Okay, which we get the uranium hexafluoride before that, which needs a chemical infuser. Hexafluoride acid and uranium oxide. We'll go uranium oxide side first, which requires yellow K uranium in a chemical oxidizer. All right. get yellow cake uranium in an enrichment chamber with uranium ingots. Which, well, we do have quite a bit of uranium ingots already in here, so we go back to the uranium hexafluoride and start looking at the hydrofluoridic acid. All right, so we go down this one. We need fluorite with sulfuric acid in a chemical dissolution chamber. Sulfuric acid is sulfuric trite and water vapor. Water vapor is just a rotary condenser with water. So I'll deal with you in just a second. Sulfuric trioxide is oxygen, which we get from water. We already know how to get that. It is just a electrolytic separator. All right, that gets us the oxygen. And sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is sulfur dust in a chemical oxidizers, which we already have on the list somewhere. Yeah, right there. So give me a second to remember how to do the multi-setup, and I will be right back. We'll start that process. I also have to send this gentleman on his way here. All right, so I have a rough idea. I'm going to need roughly, I'm going to just say 30 of these quantum entangleopers here. Also, some entangled blocks. That's for some trickiness that I'm going to try here. As we have this right here. I'm gonna select that as the block. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. We're processing these entangleopers here. Also, I'm going to pretty much get some electrolytic separators taught to this system. Nope. Iron dust. All the ores, iron dust. And it's very simple stuff. Pattern provider. We're gonna need one of these bigger pattern providers here. The reason why is the pulverizer is at its max number, and I said, like, when I made this pulverizer that I will probably have to replace that out, so today's the day. All right. We put all of these pulverizer patterns in here. And I don't remember what I just tossed in there, so I'm hoping it wasn't too important, so good, so you came back. I thought I told you last time. Let's see here. get some of these stuff in here. Electrolytic separator. Grab these quantum entanglements. Oh, okay. They are not a stack. So we'll just leave them in there. We'll have access to them here in just a second. So, there we go. That pattern teach you how to make all of these patterns here. Give me a second to teach this system all of these patterns, and I will be right back with the next step. So I've got all of this stuff. And now we're going to finally use these hyper blocks that I've been wanting to work with for a while. We're going to make this very first one right here. And we're going to name this block right here. Each hyperblock gets its own special name, so we're going to name this one Fissile fuel. Got to make sure that you're not ever something like these when you press one of those letters like U. We'll hit save and enter. And now we're in this unique little world all on its own. And one of the things I wanted to try before we get any further is I'm going to put the entangled block here. We're going to place that there. Valid block ME wireless connector. Does that mean... Ooh, this has freaky sounds in this world. Okay, yeah. Alright, I was trying something interesting, so we'll have to set that up in the overworld. So, what we're going to do in this dimension is we're going to start this off with setting this up backwards. Okay, so we need an isotopic separator. Wait. Isotopic. Oh man, I didn't make these. We'll just have it to make a few of these real quick for us. Freaky sounds like that. That's kind of neat. Okay, so it's making those as quickly as possible. Just take it a few seconds. Got our first 5. We only need 1 to start this off. Binder is bound to unknown dimension. I don't know what that sound was. So we'll set this here. We're gonna need to get power into this area, but that's that is neither here nor there. So grab a couple of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to start this off with putting this as private. And we're going to set this one to fissile fuel. Okay. We're going to click that. Now it's owner, private, Malcore, frequency, fissile fuel. We'll come in here to the configs and clear all the sites. We just want it to get input from the left here. And that's it. We want to make sure we clear all the sites for these. All right, so that will handle that, and we'll set up one right beside it. Because if we look here, we can tell it that it can input on the left here and output on the front. All right, and we can have it to auto eject on the front. Okay. All of the gases. And yeah, that's perfectly fine. I can't remember if the previous one before this is a fluid or a gas. I can never remember. But what we can do here is name this one uranium hexafluoride. Okay. Fluoro. Okay, uranium hexafluoro. So we'll actually delete that one. Yes, confirm. And we'll set this one to okay, private there. There we go. And this one, side configs. Like I said, I don't remember if it is an output of fluid or gas. So we're going to just set both of those to output on that. So got to clear all of these really really quickly while we're doing this. I will say these boxes are cool and kind of unnerving. So I'm going to set up all of the machines. I showed you the basics there of how we're going to do this. If you want the full setup, I would suggest checking my cave series that I did right before this one. So I will. It explains how I came across the expandable production line here. So so this needs 2 inputs. Okay. 2 inputs and 1 output. So, and it does also need power. So I'm thinking here what we might do is set this all up like so. Okay. Get the chemical infuser. Okay, and we can put this away and get some more of the entangled blocks. All right, and what we're going to do with this guy is we're going to we're going to have the front and left input, and we're going to make sure that we get the correct inputs for the front and left. So we want this input too, and we want this the output over here. So on the side config for the uranium hexa, under the fluids and gases, we'll just set that back up to be both of those. And items, we'll just, I forgot to clear it. That's all. And on this one, what was this needing to make the uranium hexafluoride? Uranium oxidize. So we'll set a private one here to be uranium oxidize. Okay. And the other one is the hydrofluoric acid. So this one here will be the hydrofluoric acid. All right. And since this one is the uranium oxidize, which comes from a chemical oxidizer of yellow cake uranium, we don't need to worry anymore about that one. But the hydrofluoric acid, that should be that one. Yeah. Let's swap these two around. All right, so the hydrofluoric acid requires a chemical dissolution chamber. So we need a chemical dissolution chamber. Chemical dissolution chamber. Okay. And in the chemical dissolution chamber, to make the hydrofluoric acid, we need sulfuric acid and an item to come in. So we're going to set this up that it receives items on the front. Okay. And I can't remember if yeah, it's gases. And it will receive gases on the left, and we can have it to output on the right on gas. Okay. All right, so we can set these two down. Hydrofluoric acid, so it's getting the sulfuric acid. So this would be sulfuric acid. Okay, sulfuric acid. And this one will be an item, fluoride. Fluoride. Private. What is it? Fluoride. FL. Fluoride. All right. So that is the hydrofluoric acid being made now. I know none of the stuff is being made yet. We're still doing all of the prep work here. But once we get these in here, just the basic machines in here and the power ran to them, and start getting the items sent in, we will be able to sorry guys, my head is just a little bit out of it. We'll be able to just automate this and send it on its way. So sulfuric acid is sulfuric triox, which we didn't set up yet, and water vapor. Okay, so that is in a chemical infuser. Chemical infuser. Okay. So we'll set this up so that it outputs on the right. It will input 2, input 1, and we'll have it output input 2, input 1. There we go. What quantum envelopers. We're gonna need a lot more of these. We're gonna need another chemi. So we're gonna say this one will be the sulfur trioxide. All right, and this one will be water vapor. Okay, so we've got that one set up. Sulfur trioxide is just oxygen and sulfur dioxide. And also a chemical infuser as well. So we need another chemical infuser. And I love all this prep work, you know. Sulfur. This will be sulfur dioxide. I know, guys. Don't yell at me. My spelling is horrible. And we want oxygen coming in from the front. We're just going to call it O2. All right. So just set this up so that this is input 2, this is output. There we go. Bada bing, bada bing. This is input 2. This is output. Okay. All right. So we need sulfur dioxide, which is a chemical oxidizer, making that. That should be simple enough. So we're going to place the chemical oxidizers along this wall over here. So we'll just set that like that and that right there. And we'll just say this is the sulfur dioxide. And on the front side of this, we need more of those quantums. All right, this will be the input will be items coming in from, or items output to this. This will be sulfur. Okay. This one will be the sulfur dioxide. Okay, so this will be input left, right. Okay, so that is that. Water vapor is a rotary condenser with a sink. So can we make a sink in here? Don't have no buckets of water. So how we get out of here? We'll just right click that. We're right on top here. We need a bucket for water. And hopefully we don't hear any of those spooky sounds for a little bit. I don't know how I got a latex bucket. I think there is something up with my server, guys. So what I'm going to probably do is wrap up this episode here. Finish setting up the machines. Like I said, if you're interested on how we set this fully up, go check out that previous series. I'll do that between this episode and next episode. And if you like this episode, hit that like button. If you dislike this episode, go right ahead, hit that dislike button. Tell me why you disliked it. And until next time, guys. Later, Gators.